before we get to know what the ServiceNow is, let's understand the present business scenario. Okay, you take any business, no matter what business you are into. You can be in the banking business, you can be in the finance business, in the education, in the automobile, in the manufacturing, construction, the utilities. You take any business in these days, the business cannot be imagined without the support of IT. So can you imagine any business in these days without the help of the IT? Now, the IT is tightly integrated with the business. So no matter what business we are into, we know the IT is tightly integrated with the business. Now you cannot say that my primary business is the banking. So I will only focus on the banking, and I'll just ignore the IT or area of the banking sector. Do you think that will work? Certainly it won't, because the IT has evolved over the years and it is tightly integrated with the business. Now the business cannot be separated from the IT. So if you look at the same scenario, maybe down the line 40 or 50 years ago, that's different. So IT was just started evolving and it started supporting the business. It used to be like a support function to the business. Okay, so if anybody started any business, suppose we think this as the manufacturing unit, some automobile manufacturing. So our primary focus in the olden days only to focus or invest money only on the manufacturing areas, which is our core business. Okay, so when the IT started evolving, the importance of the IT systems in the business started growing. So the same thing has been realized by a company called CCTA in the in the early 90s. So there is a consultancy or company called CCTA, which used to provide the IT services to all the government offices in the UK. So in the early 90s, sorry, in the early 80s. So this company has realized the growing need of IT systems in the business. So when they realized the growing need of the IT systems, they also realized the money spent on the IT systems is also increasing. So if you look at this first area, my primary business is the manufacturing. Maybe I'm into the automobile manufacturing. So instead of, besides investing money in the automobile manufacturing, I'm being forced to invest in the IT systems too, because the IT system is tightly integrated with the business. Now you cannot separate these two things. Okay, so when the IT systems are tightly integrated, the maintenance of the IT systems, the money spent on the IT systems also started increasing. So the same thing has been realized by this company in the early 1980s. So what they have done, they have come up with some best practices. So they called that best practices as ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library. So the primary goal of these best practices was to ensure the money spent on the IT systems is controlled at the same time without compromising on the availability of the IT systems. So when I say that the money that going into the IT maintenance is huge and I just want to reduce the money spent on the IT systems, it doesn't mean that I'm going to compromise on the IT systems availability. Because if the IT systems availability is compromised, the business also is compromised, isn't it? Okay, so that's the reason they have, yeah. So that's the reason they have drafted.
Yeah, IT systems.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
IT systems are infrastructure systems, right?
Yeah, yes, it can be anything. It can be the software application. It can be the infrastructure for your business.
ITIL, it's mainly support for infrastructure systems.
No, but
earlier.
No, the ITIL, the primary objective of the ITIL is to, though it primarily focuses on the IT systems, the infrastructure services, now it also covers the application services.
Yeah, again it renamed ITSM.
No, ITSM is different again. So the ITIL covers, but the IT, there are a couple of modules. Those modules are grouped together, and we call those modules are the ITSM. Okay. So ITIL is a broader area, and the ITSM is a sub area of the ITIL. You can think that way. So there are a couple of 5 or 6 modules of the ITIL are grouped together, and those modules are called the ITSM now. Okay.
Okay.
So when these guys introduced this ITIL, so the ITIL primary objective was to the money spent on the IT systems is reduced. So it can be the infrastructure services. It also can be the application services. Applications, I mean, though you have the application, the base of the application is again the infrastructure, isn't it? If you're hosting the application on any of the servers, the what do you call the complete infrastructure, like the server, let it be the network or the firewalls, that everything comes under the infrastructure, storage. Okay, so this is what it was aiming at. It was aiming at to reduce the money spent on the IT systems without compromising on the IT systems availability. Okay, so let's see what ITIL has suggested. So we know the purpose of the ITIL now. The purpose of the ITIL is to ensure the money going into the IT maintenance is controlled. Okay, so the ITIL, when introduced in the late 90s, so late 80s, it was published in the year 1988 first time, and there were 32 books initially, and each book was talking about one particular area, and we call that areas as the modules. Okay, so now they said if you have a business and your business is spread across multiple locations, or if you have multiple offices, so in every office now, no matter what office we are into, I mean what business we are into, we are using the IT systems. People in the what do we call? We have this is the organization. Within the organization, we have the multiple departments. So not only the people who work in the IT department are using the IT systems, even the people who are outside of the IT department also using the IT systems. Let it be the finance department, let it be the legal, let it be the facilities and whatnot. You take any department, all the departments are using the IT systems. So when you have multiple offices spread across in multiple locations, and in order to maintain those IT equipment, suppose we have somebody from the finance team, and they are.
Yeah. Shanti?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you mean by IT systems? I mean, in your term.
I mean, IT systems.
What will come under IT system?
No, it can be anything. It can be a laptop, it can be a desktop, it can be printers, it can be servers, and whatnot. It can be a software application.
Okay. So anything.
Yeah, anything that relates to the IT.
So both any application or any software or any infrastructure, everything will come under IT system.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So we have somebody from the finance working. They have some IT application, some finance application, suppose. So if they experience any issues accessing that particular application, that can be an IT issue. So if they are not able to log into the laptop that they are using, that is again the the IT related issue. That is something has to be dealt by the IT guys, isn't it? So these guys, the IT, the finance, they are the expert in their own area, in their finance field. So if anything goes wrong with the laptop, I don't think they would be able to fix it, can they? So they certainly need the help of the IT guys. So the ITIL says if you have multiple offices, instead of deploying the IT guys each and every location, you set up a IT customer care. Okay, and you have a centralized IT customer care, and they have named that customer care as IT help desk or the IT service desk. Okay. So this IT help desk is going to be the primary contact for all the people who are working in the organization for all the IT related issues. So he can be from finance department, he can be the facilities, he can be from from the IT department, or he can be from any other department within the organization. If these guys if they are working for the organization and experiencing any IT related issues, their first point of contact is the IT help desk, which acts like a customer care for all the IT related issues. Okay, so ITIL suggested you set up a centralized IT help desk and have all your employees reach the IT help desk for all the IT related assistance. Okay, so when they said you have to set up the IT help desk, they also suggested who can be part of this IT help desk. Okay, so they said only the people, this IT help desk, since they are front ending, only the people who have the L1 knowledge. So when we say the L1, they need to be the jack of, we have the saying, right? Jack of all and master of none. They should know the little bit of every technology. They should know a little bit of the networking. They should know a little bit about the desktop related issues, little bit about the SAP applications, non-SAP applications. So it can be anything. So whatever the applications or the IT systems that we have in the organization, they should know the little bit of everything. They need not to be the masters, but at least if anybody reports any issue, this IT help desk should be in a position to isolate that particular issue. Okay, if somebody reports an issue stating they are not able to log into the laptop, so the IT help desk should be in a position to identify, is it because of the operating system issue that guy is not able to log in, or is it because of his credentials, or is it because of the network issue? Since he's not able to connect the laptop to the network, he might not be able to log into the log into it. So this IT help desk should be in a position to isolate that particular issue. In case if they are not able to fix it, at least they should be in a position to isolate it. Okay, so that's the primary object of the the IT help desk. So IT help desk is L1, and these guys should have the little bit knowledge of all the technologies. And they said behind the L1, so these guys, since they know the basics, or they know the only the little knowledge about all the applications, sometimes they might not be able to fix the some issues. In those cases, they said ITL says you have your L2 teams behind the IT help desk. So you're going to have your specialized L2 teams behind the IT help desk. So it can be the Wintel, it can be storage, it can be your application, SAP application support teams, non-SAP application support teams. Okay, your storage, firewall, network, whatnot. You have all your specialized IT teams behind the IT help desk, and we call these teams as the L2 or L3 teams. Okay, these guys, they are just the master of one technology. They don't know the anything about the other technologies. So when this guy, the IT help desk, isolates any issue, and if that issue is not in its scope to resolve, he can, since he knows where the issue is, he can send the tickets, he can route the tickets to the different department, depending on the, different teams, depending on the issue reported. Okay, so this is how this guy can distribute or send the work to the different teams, or report the issues to the different teams. So how do you think? So when these guys report the issue, there can be multiple ways of reporting these issues. Okay, they can email the IT help desk, they can call the IT help desk, they can chat with the IT help desk. There are multiple ways. So the ITIL also says when any user reports any IT issues, we need to record those transactions, those issues. Because when you record the issues, you will have the historical data, and you can analyze the issues reported to you, and based on the issues reported, you can take the future decisions. Okay, so in order to take the future decisions, we need to have the history of the issues reported to us. Okay, so the ITL says any issue that is reported to the IT help desk has to be recorded. So to record these issues, the IT help desk uses some applications. So they can use the what do you call the Word Microsoft Word documents, or they can also use uh, the Excel files. But you cannot prepare good report using these things, and you cannot access the data when you require it. So that's the reason they use some specialized applications. So the applications used by the IT help desk and the other IT departments are called as the ITSM applications. Okay. So ServiceNow is also falls under this category. So no, to start with, yes, no, to start with, we can say ServiceNow is an ITSM application. But now, so when they started, yes, they have started like this. They've started as the ITSM application, but now they have expanded their capabilities. So now it's called not only the ITSM, but it's called as the ESM tool. Enterprise Service Management. It's no longer the IT Service Management because it has gone ahead and increased its capabilities. So it's not only serving the IT department, it's serving the other departments of the organization too. Okay, so that's the reason we call the ServiceNow as the ESM tool. So though it has increased its capabilities, but still ITSM is the bread and butter of ServiceNow because the most of the revenue that ServiceNow gets is from the ITSM modules. Okay. Uh, any questions, Ravi? Is that clear?
Yeah, Shanti. So we have many other tools, right? Remedy. I mean, we are using Remedy.
Yes.
So like many other tools are there, and why is the specialty of ServiceNow?
Yeah, but that's what we are going to discuss now. Now, since we know the purpose of the service now we'll just go ahead and see who are all the other players in the same segment. Okay, so other players, if you look at, we have BMC Remedy, we have HP Service Manager, we have IBM's Maximo, we have CS Service Desk, we have Jira, we have Heat, we have Cherwell, we have Summit, Symphony Summit. Okay, and like this, there are multiple applications which are available. Now, if you look at the market segment or market share, ServiceNow, as per the Gartner report, Gartner 2017 report, ServiceNow has captured 46% of the market share, followed by the BMC Remedy, which is holding the 19% market share. Okay, so if you look at this gap between these top two players, there is a huge gap. Okay, so BMC Remedy, even it's, this is more than twice of the BMC's share ServiceNow is holding. So if you look at 7 or 8 years ago, the market share used to be entirely different. BMC Remedy used to enjoy the maximum share of the ITSM market, but now the scenario has been completely changed. Now we'll understand what exactly made ServiceNow to capture this 46% market share. Okay. So if you look at these applications, these are the in-house hosted applications. So if you, they also went ahead and introduced their SaaS solutions, but we'll discuss that in a bit. So when these applications, these are the the older tools when compared with the ServiceNow. And when these tools were introduced, they were introduced as the as the in-house hosted applications. So in case if you want to use the BMC Remedy, what you need to have?
Shanti?
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah, what is? How can I ask you doubts? Can I ask you after your discussion, or can I stop you and ask you?
Oh no, you can stop me then and there, because I think that will be apt. Yeah, you can ask me now.
Yeah, what is in-house? You were saying something, right?
Yes,
And
in-house.
what is content report? Something you mentioned also. So what is that?
I'm sorry, what is?
You said that 46% and 19%. It was I mean from Garden report something.
Yes, no, but Gartner is a what do you call, they are the one, who do the uh, analysis, and they've shared the report every year, and in the every area. Okay, so if you take the software applications, they'll see. I mean, you have the reporting tools, you have the the BI tools or development tools or the automation tools. So they take every area, and in the every area they publish the report, and they show who are all the players who are doing good, exceptionally well in that particular area. Okay.
Okay.
So, they publish the report as who are all the strugglers, who are all the leaders, who are all, doing good now and they can do well. So they analyze the complete market in that particular, one particular area, and they publish the report, and they'll show us who, these reports are considered as, what do you call, the reports directly from the horse. They are, how can I say, they're accepted by most of the companies, and the reports shared by the Gartner have got, more value. Okay, but because they analyze the complete one segment. If they take the ITSM segment, they analyze who are all the players in that particular segment and how each one of them is doing, and who has got the market share. Who has got the any market share. How much of market share percent each one of these players holding. So that report also shared, and but most of the people go by this Gartner report.
Okay.
So as per the Gartner, the ServiceNow was holding the 46% market share of the complete ITSM segment.
Okay.
Okay. So now, yes. So these, when we talk about, say, in-house or, in-house hosted, if you have your, suppose this is my organization, and my organization network, this is my private network, okay? And my private network is guarded by the firewall. And then we have our complete internet here. Okay. So if I need to use the BMC remedy, what I need to have? I need to have a physical box, the hardware, and that hardware will be hosted within somewhere in my data center. So this is my data center. So within the data center, I have one server. So this is a physical box. On top of this physical box, we have the application hosted. Okay, so the application will be hosted within the network. So in order to host any application within the network, we need to have a base. So the base is going to be, first we need to have the hardware. On top of the hardware, we need to install the operating system. The server operating system has to be installed. Okay, when we talk about the base, first we need to have the physical box here we call hardware. Then we need to have a server OS. Then on top of the server OS, we need to install the database. So this is the base. So when you have this base, only then you can go ahead and install the application. Isn't it? Now, since you're working on the Java, I'm pretty sure you know these things. Okay, if you're hosting any application, if you're building any business application, so in order to host this business application, you certainly have the hardware. And top of that hardware, you can have the server. It can be the Windows machine or it can be the Linux machine. On top of that, you need to have a database installed. So when you have this basic base, only then you can go ahead and host your application, isn't it? It can be any application in case if you're trying to host it. So if you're trying to use the BMC Remedy or the HP Service Manager or IBM Maxima, you need to have a physical box. So you need to have these things ready. So only when you have these things ready, then you can install this particular application and have your users use this application. Okay, so when your need is to use the BMC remedy or the ITSM application, but still you're being forced to invest money on these three things. It can be you're being forced to purchase the hardware, then purchase a license for the server, then purchase the license for the database. So this is again not going to be the one-time investment. Had it been one-time investment, we would have still considered this, because the hardware, though you have bought the hardware once, but if anything goes wrong with this, we should have somebody to take care of this hardware. So we need to have an engineer who can maintain the hardware. And similarly, if anything goes wrong with the server operating system, we need to have the guys specialized in that area. So you need to have one more engineer here. And similarly, you need to have one more DBA guy to maintain your database. Okay. So if your need is to use the one ITSM application, you're being forced to invest money on these other things. Okay, so this is what happens when you host the application internally. So if you look at the ServiceNow, ServiceNow is the it's a SaaS solution, software as a service. Okay, when you say the software as a service, it's like if you have the requirement to use the application, ServiceNow says, so if your requirement is to use the ITSM application, you need not to worry about this base. You need not to worry about this base. This base, we are going to retain the headache of managing this base, and we are going to give you the complete the complete solution. The complete application as a service. So we give you this application alone, and the applications, whatever the base that is required to host this application, we are going to retain this headache. So that means this application is going to be hosted within the ServiceNow's database. Suppose if this is the cloud internet, and within the internet, we have the ServiceNow's data center. So within this ServiceNow's data center, the ServiceNow is hosted. Okay, and this is hosted, and this application is being given to the customers in a form of URL. So it's similar to the Gmail. Okay, so it's like if you want to if you want to travel from one place to the other, or if you want to travel by a car, you need not to buy the car. You can rent the car, isn't it? Okay, so the car is being provided to you as a service. So similarly, here the application, if you want to use the ServiceNow, you need not to host it internally. You need not to worry about maintaining this base. So this base is going to be maintained by the ServiceNow itself, and ServiceNow says, we'll maintain this base and we are going to give you this product as a service to you. So all you need to do is just take this product and manage customize this product as per your requirement and do whatever you want to. So since this application is hosted within the ServiceNow's data center, there might be some questions. Questions like, since the application is not hosted within our network, we might have the doubts about the application availability. Okay, so had it been hosted within the network, we would have the control, and we know, if anything goes wrong with the application, we know how long it's going to take to bring the application back up and running. Okay, and since the application is being hosted in the in the cloud, we don't know, and we are certainly unsure about the availability of this particular application. So ServiceNow says you need not to worry about the availability. We are going to give you the availability of 99%. Okay, so they have committed on the application's availability. And besides the availability, you might have one more question regarding the security, because the application is hosted within the cloud and the application database is also within the cloud. So whatever the data you're entering in the application, that is residing in the ServiceNow's data center. So when you have your data residing on the cloud, you might have the questions on the security of your data. So ServiceNow says you need not to worry about the security of your data. They have the edge encryption in place. Only the people from this, from your organization will be able to access your data. So not everybody will be able to access your data. So only the authorized person will be able to access the data within the ServiceNow's data center. Okay, so the security and the availability of the application is being taken care by the ServiceNow itself. Okay, so these guys are giving the assurance on the availability and at the same time data security. Okay.
So this edge encryption, this is common for everyone, right?
Yes, for all the customers of ServiceNow, yes. So whatever the data that is being saved, I'm sorry, Ravi.
Yeah, if I have 2 applications or 3 applications, so they will provide all those things, availability and edge encryption.
Yes, within the ServiceNow, no matter how many applications and the modules that you use, for everything you have the application availability and the data security. Yeah. So this is within the ServiceNow. Okay, if you have any application outside of the ServiceNow, ServiceNow will not take the responsibility for that. Okay. So these 2 things are taken care, and the ServiceNow, it's not only the SaaS solution, it also provides the PaaS. PaaS is, platform as a service. Okay, so when you say the platform as a service, now again, you bought this product. Now the complete product is being given to you as a service. Okay. Now you might have a requirement to build one business application. So in order to build the business application and host it, you need not to have this base again. So ServiceNow says you need not to worry about having in order to host or in order to create any business application, you need not to worry about creating the business application or creating the base for this particular application. So instead, ServiceNow also got the inbuilt capabilities where you can go ahead and create your own business application in case if you want to. If you have a need, you can certainly create your own business application. So that way, it's also providing you the PaaS solution. So it's not only providing the SaaS, it's also providing you the PaaS solution. So that is another capability of ServiceNow. Okay. So besides this, if you look at these areas, these applications, the scope to code on these applications is very minimal. Okay, that means customizing these applications is restricted. You cannot customize as per your business. There might be some areas where you need to compromise. So you cannot customize the applications as frequently or as easily as you customize the ServiceNow. So the ServiceNow has got many areas where you can write the script, where you can code. So since ServiceNow gives you the opportunity to code, that means it's giving you the opportunity to customize the application as per your business requirement. So the flexibility is there in the ServiceNow, whereas these applications don't have the flexibility. Okay, and the ServiceNow is hosted on the Java. Since it is hosted on Java, the UI also looks very rich when it's compared with the other applications. Okay, BMC Remedy, initially it was hosted on when it was built on the C, and now they might have been switched to the Java. Okay, but still, when you compare the UI of this application, the ServiceNow's UI looks very rich than the other applications UI. Okay, so that is again another differentiator. And one more big differentiator that I can say is the service request management. So the service request management in the BMC Remedy or HPSM or the IBM Maximo or CS Service Desk, that's a bit complicated. When customers ordering any services internally, they don't really have the very good experience, but that experience has been completely changed in ServiceNow. ServiceNow has introduced the service catalog. So the service catalog, it's similar to ordering the items from any e-commerce website. Okay, so the customer, so when you order any items from the e-commerce website, let it be the Amazon or let it be the Flipkart, you certainly have a very good experience, isn't it? So the same experience is going to be delivered to the customers for ordering the items or ordering the goods and services within the organization. Okay, because ServiceNow service catalog uses the same capabilities, same features as the e-commerce website. Okay, so the service request management, the primary focus of the service catalog is to serve the service request, the SRM. So the service request management has been completely simplified, and it has given the very rich experience to the end customers. Okay, so this is again one big differentiator. And besides this, ServiceNow, it has increased its capabilities. So it's not only serving the ITSM, it also ventured into the automation. So ServiceNow has got one module called orchestration that focuses on automating your daily business activities or daily business processes. Okay, and it also got the workflows, and using the workflows you can automate the business processes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Shanti,
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
what is orchestration?
Orchestration, I mean, this is the one of the features of ServiceNow, using which you can automate. I mean, this is similar to the automation, guys. Okay, so if you want to, you have deployment tools, you have different applications, and customers raise the request to get the access to the different applications. Okay, or to have the users created in the different systems, or to have the software deployed in some machines. So orchestration sends the request. So without the human intervention, it will send the request to the different tools to perform those activities. Okay.
Okay, and ServiceNow is not only meant for ITSM supported applications, also business application can be built from this one.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Suppose like I mean, let's take an example of HDFC Net Banking.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, can we build an application like this?
Oh yes,
ServiceNow?
Yeah, yes you can. ServiceNow has got something called service portal. So this is again built.
So I mean, to serve business requirement, so we can also do it from ServiceNow.
Yes.
You can build business applications.
Yeah, business applications can be built. So we had the CMS, content management system, and which is similar to the, using which you can build the portals, and there the technology used was jelly scripting. Okay, so now these guys have come up with the new technology which is similar to the CMS called service portal, and here the background technology is AngularJS. Okay, since
CMS is the old one.
Yeah, the CMS is the old one, and which use the jelly scripting as the background technology to build the portals.
Now
Yep. And now we have the AngularJS, which is which is used to build the again portals for the business. Okay, so but there are many other features which are completely unique, and not only this, ServiceNow also the primary objective of the founder of the ServiceNow is to eliminate the coding part as much as possible. Okay, so there are customizations which can be achieved without using the code, like creating the tables, creating the fields, and building the functionality on those particular applications, like hiding the field, making a field read-only or the mandatory. But this you need not to code. You can just make some custom configuration changes, and that will do your work. Okay, so the coding part is also minimized.
Yeah, this service portal is similar to Pega.
Service portal similar to Pega, not sure. No, it's not similar to the Pega. I mean, they use the AngularJS as their technology, and it has got multiple widgets. So using the Angular, you can build the widgets, and you can create your applications. You can build the portals. Okay.
Okay.
So there are many other features, which are differentiating the ServiceNow from its competitors. So that's the reason it is able to capture the more than 46% of the market share now. Okay. So you take any big organization, let it be Microsoft or the Apple, there the ITSM solution is the ServiceNow.
Okay.
Okay.
So for their applications.
Yeah, I mean for their IT management. So for their IT management, they use the ServiceNow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm having some. I mean, I'm asking silly doubt.
Yeah, but that's
so
okay.
IT is the process, right?
ITIL, yeah, processes.
ITSM is?
ITSM again, that's again process. If you look at the ITIL has got the, if you look at the latest version, which is the 2011 V3, it has got the 5 life cycle stages. Okay. So we call them as, service
strategy, service development.
Yes.
Design.
So all this, every life cycle stage has got some sub-modules. Okay. So the ITSM, when you say the ITSM has taken these modules from all these 5 different, 4 or 5 different modules. So ITSM consists of only the incident management, problem management, change management. Then we have asset management, knowledge management, and the service portal. I mean service catalog. It's called as the SRM, the service request management. Okay. So if you look at this, the IM and PM, these are the part of the service operations lifecycle of ITIL. Okay. CM, AM, these are the part of the service transition. Okay. So the ITSM, it has taken the modules from the ITIL. So we have 5 different life cycle stages. So it has taken the primary modules from all the 5 life cycle stages and grouped together, and we call that as the ITSM.
I mean, like a service strategy is one of the. I mean, one life cycle. It is having some modules or some functionalities.
Yes, service strategy. When you look at the service strategy, within the service strategy, you have a sub modules. Okay. So similarly, we have service strategy, service design, service transition, service operations, and CSM. I mean CSI, continual service improvement. So
it will come under service operations.
Yes. So the IM and PM both come under service operation. CM and AM comes under the service transition. Okay. So this is how it has taken. SRM is also part of the service operations, I suppose. Okay. So it has taken it has taken the modules from all the 5 life cycle stages and grouped together, and we call that as a ITSM.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Clear.
Okay.
So based on this ITSM, they have developed tools, as you shown earlier.
Yes. So all the
ITSM came?
I mean all the tools which are built, they are primarily focusing on these areas, on the incident management, problem, change, AM, the knowledge, and the service management. So besides this, there are other modules, but all the ITSM.
So when it was evolved, as you said, ITIL, it was evolved in around 1988, and 32 books was written on this. So when ITSM came?
ITSM, I mean, ITSM, it's already there with the ITIL. So when the ITIL was introduced, so as part of the ITIL, so I'm not sure when they coined this term ITSM and when they started using this term, but that I'm not sure. But when you talk about the ITSM, it's a subset of the ITIL, you can say. Okay. So in the 1988, the ITIL books were published 32, and in the 1998 they have changed the base of the ITIL, and they grouped. I mean, here, all the modules were 32 books, and in the 1998 they changed and they published. All the 32 books were reduced to 18 books, and all these 18 books were grouped under two categories: service design and the service operations. Okay, since they have changed the base, they called this as a V2, and later in the year 2007 they introduced this life cycle, 5 life cycle stages. Okay, so again, since they have changed the base from the service operations and the service design, they introduced the life cycle stages. So that's the reason 2007 we call it as a V3. And again in the 2011 they added some new modules, but the 5 life cycle stages hasn't been changed. So since there is no change to the base structure of the ITIL, we still, the 2011 is also called as a version 3. Okay, but some financial management and couple of other things have been added to the 2011 ITIL. Okay. So this is what do you call? We have in the ServiceNow. I mean, this is how the ServiceNow is differentiated from its competitors. It has got many other features which the other competitors don't have. So even Remedy has came as the service, we call the SaaS solution. They have built the Remedy on Salesforce and they named it as the Remedy Force, and which was provided to the customer as a SaaS solution. But unfortunately, this wasn't as successful as expected. Okay, so they have terminated this product, I suppose. Remedy Force is no longer available. Now Remedy has got the 9.5. So this is the latest version of the Remedy. Okay, so as part of
what is Remedy for?
Remedy Force, it's a, I mean, if you looked at the earlier Remedy, so if you have to use that, you have to host the, you will be given exe file, Remedy exe file, then you have to install that within your network, isn't it? Okay, so instead of that, what they have done, they have hosted the Remedy on the Salesforce platform, and then they gave the Remedy as a SaaS solution. So in order to use the Remedy, you no longer need to install and host it within your network. So all you need to have a active internet connection and the working browser. Yeah, that's it.
Like ServiceNow.
Like ServiceNow.
They hosted it.
Yes, they hosted it on the Salesforce. So that's the reason they called it as a Remedy Force. But unfortunately, it wasn't successful.
It was successful or
no,
not?
It wasn't. It wasn't successful.
Okay, it was not successful.
Yeah, it was not successful. So that's the reason they have decommissioned this. So it's no longer available for the customers, I suppose, Remedy Force.
Okay. So, but ServiceNow is successful?
Of course it is. It has got the 46% of the market share. Now you can say ServiceNow has got more than 6,000 customers. If you look at the current customer count, it has got more than 6,000 customers. And many customers who are migrating from Remedy to ServiceNow. We have Wells Fargo, who have been loyal to Remedy for a long time. Now they are migrating to ServiceNow. We have the Novartis, which is again a big player in the pharma. And they have been with the Remedy for a long time. Now they are migrating to ServiceNow. You take you name any big organization. So the only organization which is still loyal to Remedy is BT, I suppose, the British Telecom. They are still, continue to be with the Remedy. So there are different players. I mean, different customers who are still stuck to, the loyal customers of Remedy. But, most of the people are, migrating to ServiceNow. So ServiceNow has got more than 6,000 customers already.
So, my doubt is, Shanti, so TCS is a partner for ServiceNow.
Oh.
So, we are also developing applications on ServiceNow. Without any interaction, not dealing with ServiceNow. Something like we are just using ServiceNow instance, and we are developing for the users.
I mean, now, TCS again into the managed services. Okay, so they are into managed services, and they also act as the what we call the retailer for the ServiceNow. So that's the reason we call it as a partner. So when you say the partner, so the TCS proposes ServiceNow to its customers.
Yeah.
Okay. So in other way, TCS promoting the ServiceNow product. I mean, how can we say that? They work very closely with the ServiceNow, and they bring the business to the ServiceNow. Okay, something like this.
Okay, so okay, TCS is ServiceNow.
Yes. When you say the partner. So when you say, since you're also into the managed services, you're also providing there might be customers who are already on the ServiceNow, and you might be managing the ServiceNow on their behalf.
Okay.
Okay. So you customize the product, you create the new applications for them on the ServiceNow platform. Okay, if they run into any issues, you solve them for them. So like this you do.
So, but what benefit that we, so anyways, if you develop any application, we have, at the end of the day, we have to pay for ServiceNow only, right?
No, I mean,
or licensing.
Developing again, that's, what do we call? Then you develop and you have to pay. I mean, you're paying for using the services of ServiceNow, obviously. So if you build, ServiceNow says, if you build any application, and until and unless you're not making any revenue from that application, you need not to license it. I mean, you need not to pay for the ServiceNow. But if you start making money from that application, then you have to pay. No, I mean, I'm not sure how the licensing works. I mean, that's what I think. When you start making the money from that particular application, then you have to pay the ServiceNow.
I just want to do ServiceNow's administration certification. I have to do it.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can help you with that. Yeah. So advanced administration, and besides this, we will look into the development. So when we say the development, though ServiceNow uses JavaScript as the skeleton for scripting, it has got its own APIs. So we will discuss those APIs. Okay. After that, we will discuss ServiceNow also supports the web services. So we'll see the integration between two applications using the web services.
SOAP and RESTful?
Yeah, SOAP and RESTful. Both are supported in ServiceNow.
Okay.
So we'll see how the data gets exchanged between two applications using the SOAP and REST.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, we'll conclude the training, and this training would last between 35 and 40 hours. So we will cover the base platform. So this is the base platform of ServiceNow. So we are going to cover these things. If you look at the ServiceNow has got multiple areas, and everybody cannot work on all the areas. So everyone's area will be restricted. Okay. So if you know the base, you would be able to work on any of the areas. Even, to work on the service portal, you need to know the basic. So service portal, again, that's an additional feature. And you cannot learn the service portal, without having knowledge on the base platform.
Hello.
Ravi.
So are we covering? I will just let me confirm. Are we dealing these concepts or not?
Okay.
Customize homepage.
Yeah.
Define CSS property, UI properties.
Yeah.
Adding gauges on adding reports on home pages, lists,
Yeah.
layouts,
Yes.
under table form dictionary layouts,
Yes.
dictionary,
Mhm.
update set creations,
Yes.
like create an update set, merge update set, retrieve, update
Yeah.
set in another instance,
Yes. Yes.
preview and cleaning of update sets,
Yeah.
import and export XML,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
scripting part, client scripting, server side scripting,
Yes.
Ajax scripting, UI action and UI policies, business rules,
Yes. Yes.
creating workflow.
Yes.
So all this will come under
Yeah, yes, everything, this is the broader category, whatever you're saying that you just went deep into all these categories. So if you look at the broader, so these
okay.
are the 4 areas that we are going to cover. But within this, when you say the update sets, client scripts, let it be the business rules, scripting includes glide Ajax, okay, and whatnot, UI policies, UI actions, that everything, that fits into one of these areas, one of these categories. Okay, so yeah, all these things.
Okay, and email notification,
Yeah.
creating SLA schedules,
Yes, yes.
schedule jobs.
Yeah.
So, oh, all this will be covered.
Yes, everything will be covered.
And what about administration means?
Yeah, I mean, administration, what do you call, whatever the activities that you're doing, creating the, let it be the UI policies or, customizing the form, building the small, new functionalities, that comes under the administration. Okay, now defect
So, I mean, so
enhancements.
what are the prerequisites to do the certification? So after this course, can I do certification with the help of this knowledge?
Yes, you can certainly. If you're planning to do the administration, yes, but this knowledge will suffice.
So whatever you're teaching.
Yes.
So and so what is the process of doing this administration? I mean, how can I do the certification, or do I have to go for an institute? Or I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I mean, certification first. You have the website, the training portal of ServiceNow. I mean, yes, you have to register, and you have the Prometric centers. So you have to choose the Prometric centers. So you have 2 options. You can take the certification from your home, and you can also walk into the Prometric centers and take the certification from the Prometric centers. So if you choose to do the certification from home, and there are some prerequisite applications that you need to install, and you need to have a webcam.
Okay.
Okay. So if you don't like to setting up, there is some basic setup that you need to take care of. So if you don't want to take this headache, you can choose the nearby Prometric centers and schedule your exam. Thank you so much for taking time to join me. Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.